me and Charles were coming from a company called Switchee. I'm head of people there, and Charles there is our customer success manager. So I will let him introduce us.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for taking the time today. Hopefully we can give you a bit more insight into our process and story into applying for B Corp. We offer smart technology for the social housing sector, and we've been around for about 6 years now. I originally joined the company back in 2016, and ever since then I've been keen to really drive a lot of the social and environmental mission of the company.
So we actually also prepared a little slide deck to just show you sort of what the journey was for us. And we thought that since a lot of the questions that we've been asked before were about how long it takes and what are the different stages, we thought that maybe it'd be helpful if we just show you the whole timeline of what it was like for Switchee and what key milestones we went through. And I will basically be clicking through this as Charles present them.
That's one. Cheers, Olya. So yeah, just actually on the back of what Karina's presentation just said, thanks, Karina. It's really great and highlighted a lot of really good points that I probably will emphasize just at the start. And the first is that why were we keen to do B Corp? And I think it's because we as a business have quite a major social mission in trying to improve the lives of people living in rented accommodation through our technology. But there's one thing saying that in the company mission and values, and there's another thing sort of proving it. And I was really keen for us as a business to have that stamp of approval from B Corp. Now, there are multiple other ways that I went about trying to get the go ahead from the senior leadership team, and mainly that was due to, I think, we as a business will benefit massively from attracting talent over the next few years. As Karina said, young people are really desperate now to join companies that have a clear mission. But also another point that Karina said is that increasingly VCs are keen to invest in businesses that have a social or environmental mission. And we were fortunate in that respect that to get the board buy-in from them, and that one of our early VCs was the first, I believe, the first VC in the UK to have B Corp status themselves. So yeah, anyway, without further ado, the timeline. So this will be different for different companies. We're a relatively small business still, so only 30 or so employees. But I assume if you're P&G or Unilever, it'll be a completely different kettle of fish. But I'll quickly run through it. So in 2019, I approached our founder, Adam Fedorkovsky, and said to him, would you be interested in trying to apply for the B Corp? And he was reticent at the time because of limited resource and probably money to do it. And what I did was I went away and completed the impact assessment on the B Corp website, which took probably a couple of days of my time. It wasn't an in-depth completion of the assessment. I just did it with the knowledge that I had of the business. And we were below the threshold, so it was deemed probably not the right time for us to apply. Fast forward a year ahead to September 2020, we had, Olya, if you want to click there, thanks. And we had a new CEO join, and he was, I mentioned to him in last September if he was keen for it, and he said yes, definitely really keen for it. So I went ahead and did nothing for 3 months until I got a bit of engagement towards Christmas time from our head of operations, who was also keen to do something. And I think that's the first key point that I'd emphasize is trying to do this with other people. We've all got our day-to-day tasks and jobs that take up the vast majority of our time, and doing something like B Corp will be quite a constraint on your time, probably taking up to sort of, let's say, 5 to 10 hours a week per person. So it's really, really great to try and divide and conquer. So with the help of Michael, our head of operations, we spent an hour for every night for the week before Christmas, when things were a bit quieter, going through the impact assessment again and trying to, in a bit more detail than I'd done the previous summer, and trying to understand what our score was. And we were still below the mark, but not massively. I think we were something like 5 to 10 points below the pass threshold. So we went back to the senior leadership team and sort of gave an idea of what we could do. But we also critically, and this is a really important point, we went onto the B Corp website and engaged one of their key leaders. So these are accredited consultants that assist companies in getting B Corp certification. And yeah, we managed to get a lady down in the Southwest who was fantastically helpful and not super expensive either, in the region of 1,500 quid for the whole 6 months support that she gave us. And it was massively useful. And one of the key points that she made, much like Karina mentioned earlier, was that let's try and find the low-hanging fruit, which is a bit of a horrible phrase, but equally with the impact assessment, there are some probably quick wins that you can do to up your score. So we tried to identify those, and much like Karina said, they had a couple of categories that they were less strong on, but ours was actually the environment category. As a manufacturer, there's all sorts of different suppliers and so on that we need to try and engage to boost our score there. And that's actually the beauty of B Corp, is the trickle down effect. And if we can try and convince our suppliers and manufacturers to, let's say, move to renewable electricity instead of their existing plans, then that's great. So there was quite a lot of work on that. And what we did then between February and May this year was put together an internal steering group of Switchee employees. We managed to get people from different parts of the company who are all keen to be involved, and we were able to give different people different tasks. Now, Olya's on the call. She was instrumental in writing countless policies and so on that helped us rapidly increase our points on the impact assessment. I'm sure she'll be able to list off about 10 different policies that she was able to do, which was massively helpful as well. And if you can try and engage a steering group and have a B leader to guide you on that journey, then I'd strongly encourage it, and I'm sure it'll make your life easier. So yeah, we did a range of things, as you can see on the slide there. And then by I think it was June time, we were ready to submit the application. And yeah, we're hopefully, it's quite a long waiting list at the moment because so many businesses are trying to get B Corp, which is a great thing. And I understand actually that B Corp UK are trying to increase their staff so they can manage the increased demand. But it'll be about 6 to 8 months, we were told, before we get our full accreditation. So we're hoping by the end of 2021 we'll have it. So yeah, that's our journey and our timeline. Another couple of things I'd emphasize is that oftentimes people associate B Corp with just being a solely environmental accreditation, but much like Karina said, one of the things that we were really fortunate with is some things like the people category or the customers category we scored very well on, and we didn't actually have to do masses and masses in those areas, but certainly in the areas that you score less well on, it can be quite time consuming, and if you can try and increase the amount of support that you have, then I strongly recommend it.
Thank you so much, Charles, for running us through it. Charles was the champion of this project, rallying up everyone behind the cause. And I think one really great thing that we did early on, and this was kind of at the end of January or sometime mid-January, once that key B Corp leader came to us and got engaged with us, was we actually put together a presentation where this person, her name is Camille, she basically presented what B Corp is and why it is so inspiring, why it is so exciting, and why for Switchee it could be a great opportunity. And we presented that on one of our lunch and learn sessions. And just as we were presenting it, we said, these are the things we already have, and these are already working really well. These are the things we're missing to achieve the numbers we're after. And so we are looking for people to help us with this. And kind of naturally, people got a bit engaged and inspired about this. Maybe they saw that their skills or their interests aligned with some things. For example, we had one of the people on the engineering team, one of our software engineers, reach out and say, oh, can I do the measurement of how much energy usage everybody spends? And he went and created the surveys and sent them out, and that was very interesting for him. So I think it was a great thing to just early on try and explain to everybody why you're doing this and offer them a chance to collaborate with you. That really has sped up time for us in the trials.